Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at the Singapore International Energy Week.
SIO?
Yeah, SEW. Yeah, SIUW for short.
Catchy.
Yeah, very catchy.
Yeah.
So it's happening in 2024, and it seems like kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone in the energy world is going to be there.
It's true.
Yeah.
It really does attract kind of a global crowd.
Oh, wow.
You've got energy professionals, policymakers, analysts, commentators,
Wow.
all coming together to discuss the future of energy.
Not just like another industry conference then?
No, definitely not. This year's theme is a connected and sustainable energy world.
Okay.
And that really gets to the heart of what's happening in the energy sector right now.
Okay.
We're seeing this massive shift towards cleaner sources of energy, but of course
Right.
that comes with its own set of challenges.
It is. What are some of those?
Well, how do we modernize our power grids? How do we make sure that energy is affordable and accessible to everyone?
Right.
These are the kinds of questions that SIEW is really trying to address. Okay, so big questions, global players got it.
Yeah.
So what's actually happening at SIEW 2024?
Well, first off, mark your calendars for October 21st to 25th.
Okay, I've got it.
And one of the highlights this year is a brand new event, the Singapore IEA Ministerial Forum.
IEA, that's the International Energy Agency, right?
That's the one.
What makes this forum so special?
Well, it's actually a pretty big deal because this is the first time that Singapore and the IEA are collaborating on something like this.
Oh, wow.
They're bringing together energy ministers and other high-level officials from all around the world to specifically tackle this challenge of decarbonization.
Decarbonization. So, how do we transition away from fossil fuels?
Yeah, in a way that's fair and sustainable.
Right.
This forum is going to be a key platform for those discussions.
Interesting. So we've got international collaboration at the highest level. What else is on the agenda?
Well, we've got the 4th Singapore International Renewable Energy Agency Forum,
Okay.
also happening during SIUW, and they're going to be tackling...
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Yeah.
They're going to be tackling this ambitious goal of tripling renewables by 2030.
Okay.
It's a target that was set by ARENA.
So tripling renewables by 2030, that sounds like a pretty monumental task.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It requires a massive shift in investment infrastructure policy.
Wow.
And frankly, there are a lot of differing opinions on exactly how to get there.
Okay.
This forum is where some of those debates are going to play out.
Okay, so we've got these big picture discussions, about decarbonization, about renewable energy targets. But what about the more practical nuts and bolts aspects of this energy transition?
Well, for that, you'll want to check out the 25th Association of the Electricity Supply Industry of East Asia and Western Pacific CEO Conference.
Okay, wow, that's a mouthful.
It is, I know,
Yeah.
but it's basically a gathering of the top leaders in the power industry across East Asia and the Western Pacific.
Okay, so a lot of acronyms there, but it sounds like a pretty influential group. What are they focusing on this year?
Their theme is empowering the energy transition, so very much in line with the overall spirit of SIEW.
Okay.
They'll be discussing things like how to modernize power grids, how to integrate renewable energy sources more effectively, and how to ensure reliable energy access as demand continues to grow.
It's really interesting to see how Singapore is positioning itself at the center of all these conversations about energy.
It is.
You mentioned earlier that they're also hosting CEPSI in 2025.
Right.
Which is another major power industry event.
Yeah, absolutely. Singapore is becoming a real hub for energy innovation in the region, and SIUW is a big part of that.
So we've covered the big forums, the CEO conference. Anything else happening at SIUW that our listeners should know about?
Oh, on top of all of that, there are a bunch of partner events happening throughout the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's the Asia Clean Energy Summit, the Asian Downstream Summit,
Wow.
the Asia LNG Market Conference, Future of the Grid, just to name a few.
Okay.
They're covering everything from hydrogen to carbon capture to the latest advancements in grid technology.
So kind of a smorgasbord of energy-related topics.
Exactly.
I noticed that one of the partner events is called the Asia Carbon Summit.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, that one's particularly relevant, I think, because it focuses specifically on carbon markets,
Okay.
which, is all about finding ways to create financial incentives for companies to reduce their emissions.
So imagine like a system where companies that pollute more have to pay,
Right.
and those that are cleaner can earn credits and even trade them. It's kind of like a stock market, but for pollution.
Exactly.
That's the basic idea behind carbon markets.
Yeah.
Now, whether these markets are truly effective is definitely up for debate.
Oh, for sure.
I think SIUW is going to be a battleground for those discussions.
Absolutely. And you also have Commodity Insights Future Energy Masterclasses, organized by S&P Global.
Okay.
Those are deeper dives into specific areas like hydrogen power and renewables, and of course, carbon markets.
Very cool.
If you really want to get into the weeds of a particular topic,
right,
these masterclasses are for you.
It sounds like SIW is going all in on this idea of a connected and sustainable energy world.
Yeah.
But what does that actually mean in practice?
Well, I think the key takeaway here is that this transition to a cleaner energy future requires a multifaceted approach.
Okay.
You need strong policies, technological innovation, financial investment, and maybe, most importantly, international collaboration.
And it sounds like SIEW is kind of providing a platform for all of that to happen.
Exactly. And Jamshid Chin, the chief executive of INEA, put it best when he said that you need strong regional connections, cross-border power trade, green financing, and joint investments in low-carbon technologies are essential for accelerating this transition.
So it's not just about talking the talk. It's about walking the walk, finding practical solutions, and making things happen.
Absolutely. And that's what makes SIEW so exciting. It's not just a conference where people are coming to present papers and pat each other on the back.
Right.
It's a place where real progress can be made.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a good one.
It is a good one.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how much emphasis there seems to be on regional collaboration, particularly in Southeast Asia. Why is that region so important in this global energy landscape?
That's a great observation. And there are a couple of reasons for that. First, Southeast Asia is experiencing really rapid economic growth.
Okay.
Which, of course, means energy demand is skyrocketing.
Right.
At the same time, many countries in the region are still heavily reliant on fossil fuels.
Like coal.
Particularly coal, yeah.
Right.
So you have this tension, between this rising demand and the urgent need to transition to cleaner energy sources.
So it's kind of like a microcosm of the global energy challenge, just on like a faster timeline.
Exactly. And that's what makes Southeast Asia such a fascinating case study. If they can figure out how to navigate this energy transition successfully, it could provide a blueprint for other regions to follow.
So what are some of the biggest hurdles that they're facing?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is modernizing this aging infrastructure. A lot of the power grids in Southeast Asia were built decades ago.
Right.
And they just weren't designed to handle this influx of renewable energy sources.
Right. You can't just plug a bunch of solar panels into a system that was built for coal-fired power plants.
Exactly. And then there's also this issue of integrating renewables into the grid.
Okay.
In a way that's reliable and stable.
Right, because solar and wind power aren't always available like when you need them.
Exactly. They're intermittent.
Right.
So you need these sophisticated grid management systems.
Okay.
And energy storage solutions to kind of balance supply and demand.
It sounds incredibly complex.
It is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the social dimension of the energy transition as well.
Oh, right.
You have to make sure that this shift to cleaner energy is equitable.
Right.
And that it benefits everyone, not just, the wealthy or those living in urban areas.
Right. So there are a lot of moving pieces there.
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces.
That's where the regional collaboration comes in.
That's exactly right.
How does collaborating across borders help with all these challenges?
Well, one of the key ideas that's being explored is this concept of regional energy connections.
Yeah.
Literally connecting power grids across countries.
So like sharing energy resources across borders, that sounds pretty futuristic.
It is, but it's actually becoming increasingly feasible.
Wow.
With these advancements in grid technology.
Okay.
So the idea is that by connecting these grids, you can balance supply and demand much more efficiently.
Okay.
So for example, a country with abundant solar power during the day could share that energy with a neighbor.
Right.
Who's experiencing peak demand in the evening.
So it's like a giant interconnected energy puzzle where everyone benefits from working together.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this brings us to another really crucial element of the energy transition.
Okay.
That will be heavily discussed at SIEW.
Which is?
Green financing.
Okay, so we're moving from the physical infrastructure to like the financial side of things.
Right.
What is green financing? Essentially, it's about channeling investments towards sustainable energy projects.
Okay.
So we're talking about funding renewable energy installations, developing smart grids, improving energy efficiency.
Okay.
Anything that contributes to a cleaner energy future.
So it's not just about talking about going green, it's about putting the money where your mouth is.
Exactly. And this is where the whole concept of carbon markets comes in.
Right.
They're designed to provide a financial incentive for companies to reduce their emissions.
Okay.
The idea is that if you pollute more, you have to pay more.
Right.
And if you reduce your emissions, you can actually earn credits.
Oh, wow.
That you can then trade.
Okay, walk me through that a little bit more. How do these carbon markets actually work?
It's a bit complex.
Okay.
But essentially, governments set a cap
Okay.
on the total amount of greenhouse gases
Right.
that companies are allowed to emit.
Okay.
And then they issue permits
Okay.
that allow companies to emit a certain amount of pollution.
So if a company emits less than their allotted amount,
Okay.
they can then sell those extra permits to companies that need to emit more.
So it's kind of a way of putting a price on pollution.
Exactly.
And encouraging companies to invest in those cleaner technologies.
Exactly right. And there's a lot of debate, of course,
Right.
about whether or not carbon markets are truly effective in reducing emissions. Some argue that they're too complex.
Okay.
And that they allow big polluters to just keep polluting as long as they can afford to buy permits.
Right.
Others believe that they're a crucial tool for driving investment towards these cleaner solutions.
And I imagine those debates will be front and center at SIEW.
Absolutely. SIEW is going to be a hotbed for discussions on, how to make these carbon markets more effective, how to ensure transparency and accountability, and how to make sure that they benefit everyone, not just a select few.
It sounds like SIEW is tackling this idea of a connected and sustainable energy world from all angles. The policy side, the technological side.
For sure.
The financial side, and even the social side.
You got it. It's a really multidimensional challenge.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see an event like SIEW bringing all of these different perspectives together in one place.
Now, listening to all of this, it's clear that these events like SIEW are crucial for driving this energy transition forward. But you've also mentioned that individual choices really do matter.
They do.
So for someone who's interested in all of this, but maybe feeling a little overwhelmed, what would you say are some of the key takeaways from SIEW?
Well, first and foremost, I think SIEW really underscores the fact that this energy transition is happening.
Okay.
It's not a question of if, but how.
So no turning back.
Not really. The momentum is too strong, the technology is advancing too quickly, and frankly, the need to address climate change is too urgent.
Right.
The second takeaway is that international collaboration is absolutely key.
Okay. No
single country or company can solve this alone.
It's a global challenge that requires global solutions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And finally, I think SIEW highlights the fact that there are real opportunities out there for innovation and investment in the clean energy sector.
Okay.
This isn't just about sacrifice. It's about creating a better, more sustainable future for everyone.
That's a great summary. And for anyone who wants to kind of delve deeper into these specific aspects of SIEW, I highly recommend checking out their website.
Oh, yeah. It's a fantastic resource.
They've got tons of information about the different events, the speakers.
Absolutely.
And all the topics that are being covered.
And it's a reminder that we're all a part of this energy transition.
Right.
We all have a role to play, whether it's through our personal choices, our professional work, or our advocacy for a more sustainable future.
With all this talk about global collaboration and these big picture solutions, it makes me wonder, what can we do as individuals to contribute to this connected and sustainable energy world? It's easy to feel like our choices don't really matter when we're talking about something as massive as the global energy system.
Yeah, that's a great question, and one that I think a lot of people are grappling with.
Yeah.
It can feel overwhelming to think about individual impact in the face of such a large-scale challenge.
Right.
But here's the thing. Even small individual actions can collectively create this ripple effect.
So you're saying our choices really do make a difference?
Absolutely. Think about it.
Okay.
Every decision that we make, from the appliances that we buy to the way that we travel, contributes to this overall demand for energy.
Right.
And that demand shapes the energy landscape.
So being mindful of our energy consumption is a good starting point.
It's a fantastic place to start.
Okay.
Simple things like switching to energy-efficient light bulbs, unplugging devices when you're not using them, and being conscious of your heating and cooling habits can all contribute to lowering your energy footprint.
And what about our purchasing decisions? Does choosing products from companies committed to renewable energy and sustainable practices actually make an impact?
Without a doubt. As consumers, we hold incredible power.
Oh, okay.
By choosing to support businesses that align with our values, we're sending a clear message to the market.
Right.
We're essentially voting with our wallets.
Okay.
We're showing that sustainability matters to us.
So it's not just about what we do in our homes, it's about making conscious choices.
Yeah.
In all areas of our lives.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And Beyond those consumer choices, there are so many other ways to get involved
Right.
and contribute to this energy transition.
Right.
We can advocate for policies that support clean energy initiatives,
Okay.
volunteer with organizations that are working on environmental issues, and even just talk to our friends and family about the importance of sustainability.
It's about raising awareness,
Yeah,
shifting mindsets, and building momentum for change.
exactly. Remember, the transition to a connected and sustainable energy world is a collective effort.
Right.
Governments, businesses, and individuals all have a role to play.
And SIW seems to be a great example of that collective effort in action, bringing all these different players together to work towards this common goal.
It really is. And events like SIUW serve as this powerful reminder that this transition is not only necessary,
Okay.
but it's also full of possibilities. It's a chance to reshape our energy systems and to build a brighter future for everyone.
So for our listener today, if you're feeling inspired to take action but aren't sure where to start, I encourage you to explore the SIUW website.
Oh, yeah.
You'll find a wealth of information about the different initiatives, the technologies, the organizations that are actively shaping the future of energy.
And remember, no action is too small.
Right.
Every step we take, no matter how seemingly insignificant, contributes to building a more sustainable future for generations to come.
That's a fantastic note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of connected and sustainable energy.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious, stay engaged, and let's all do our part to power a better tomorrow tomorrow.